From the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth, Merrow. I am Anthony Morino on another glorious morning. Unbelievable. Giving Del Mar a run for its money as we wrap up, I guess, week 4. After today, we must have, 16 racing days left. But it is, I don't know, beyond perfect. That's probably oxymoron. But it's delightful up here. If you got some time, come on up for the races. 10 race card today, kicking off at 1:10. And if we're lucky, there'll be no news.
Fingers crossed. That was not good.
How is that not an all race? How is that not a... How do they do that? I mean, did anybody come and speak at the press box? Like, because... it
was the last race, so it was...
One of the... It's on Twitter that originally they were told it was run at the right distance. I think we've discovered the problem.
To me, it's because it happened.
Incomprehensible.
I didn't realize it was 7 years ago. I would have said that the previous time. I would have said like 2 or 3 years ago. That's how time flies.
Yes.
But that it happened before says put something in place. And to me,
like the program?
Something simple in place.
Like the program?
Yeah, but obviously that is not. And one of the subsequent time they said the information in the program is wrong. So what you do is have a notebook, perhaps, with every rate, a sleeve. You put in the conditions and the distance, and then you have an overhead shot of the racetrack, and you put a red dot where no, don't look like that. That's how you solve the problem. Something has to be done. It's been done twice, so you have to address it. And this is a simple solution. Now you have somebody in charge of looking every race that says we're in the right spot or we're not in the right spot.
Now, one that people missed was a couple of years ago on the dirt, they put it in the wrong spot, but they delayed the race 20 minutes.
Which, this.
How does jockey everybody
go,
listen, I need a mile and an eighth. I'm in the wrong spot.
That's
like,
also kind of.
Why are we going here? Like, you kind of, I've tell people, it's like, and I've said it many times before, we don't run a mile and an eighth on the inner about 3 times a meet. So if I was like going up there, I'd be like, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. You people are wrong. It's like, how do they miss it? It's like, yawn, fall asleep.
Oh, we should say that we're assuming here, and probably assuming correctly for 90% of the audience, but if folks don't know, the last race yesterday was run at the wrong distance. And I think people are rightfully
I don't know how it can be a contest.
It was run at a mile and a 16th as opposed to a mile and an eighth. And some people are saying, I had the third place finisher. It was coming like a freight train. Another 16th of a mile. Maybe I win the
right.
And so
That's why I can't believe they didn't call it a no contest and move on.
Yeah.
You think David O'Rourke's going to be on TV today?
I don't know how.
That's malfeasance, isn't it?
Has,
you're wagering. That's malfeasance. That's like
has to be addressed.
Fireable. That was like, and just for like, so gate crew, let's say, is like 11, 12 people. Like even absent-mindedly, you go, well, I'm going up the stretch today. And you stop. You go, wait a second, this isn't right. This is
except I don't know if the whole gate crew is looking at the pro. I don't know. I have no idea. They may just be,
Well, I usually see it walking around their back pocket, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The point is well taken, though, that trainers, owners, jockeys, it seems like a lot of people would notice. That said, it's not their responsibility. That's lies somewhere
I would think
else.
Somebody who had a horse in there that wanted 9 furlongs would have been like, hey, whoa, well, too late. Yeah. But the biggest thing to me is because I always think the bettors get the short end of the stick. It's, you know, I work in a business that you cannot do that to the customer. This sport, apparently the customer is last on the poll, but how they just don't say no contest. You might not remember this, but a couple of years ago at Del Mar, I can't really describe what happened, except there were these tiles all on the first turn. And I know my director back in Albany, Dan, he remembers this. There were these tiles on the first turn. They just called it no contest. That's it. Wrap it up. That way, and I've said this at least 20 times, protecting the bettor is the third most important thing. Protecting the horse, protecting the jockey, and then protecting the bettor is 45 years. I can tell you something. I never brought the food to the wrong table.
No, that was.
And I've always said this. I say this all the time. Like what did you see? What did you see that led you to? Because I presume the tractor person gets told where to go.
Yeah.
So who told the tractor person where to go? And what made you tell the tractor person to go there? Did you see something someplace? I don't know. But the no
like
contest
I say,
to me is,
we can wring our hands as long as we want. What they have to do is come up with a solution going
Value
forward.
Moose people still haven't gotten paid, and they're not getting paid.
And to me, like I say, the solution is something like that, very simple, where every race you have a picture of the track, you mark where it's going. The next day, you erase the mark from you, put the market, and somebody's job is to make sure it's in the right place. And I think that probably is somebody's job, but I think if you're just looking at the program and whatnot, you get complacent. I have a visual.
You have one job to do for 30 seconds all day. You're in for 30 seconds, 300 seconds of. I told you the story, like we just saw Jeff Carl at Laurel. The places where they have two different finish lines. At Laurel, they have a red light for the jockeys to let them know which one they're running to. And Jeff told me that, like, when you come in the paddock, there's a judge there to tell you it's the second finish line, et cetera, et cetera. And usually the gate, I think the gate is usually in place like 15 minutes before race time. Oh, wow. I mean, it's on gates before they come on the track.
Yeah.
And no one's like yelling like in the press anywhere going, no, that's not it. I mean, I don't know that I'm going to see it, but man, I would love to see the press conference where they explain the how they got here. It's going to be a doozy. And then I guess they're going to say that the Racing and Gaming Commission's rules are it doesn't matter what distance we run the race at.
I don't think that's going to be the takeaway from the. I mean,
well, you have no redress. They didn't call it no contest, so it's like you have no redress. It's like,
yeah, but it was obviously a mistake. I mean, the Gaming Commission isn't somehow putting their stamp of approval on what happened. But once a race is declared official, then it's declared official. But it has to be addressed in some fashion, and a system put in place to, prevent it from happening again.
Again.
Yeah, no question about it. As I say, after the last one.
And I'll tell you what's funny was when the dirt race, it happened because I'm kind of funky. We were outside the 7 furlong pole, the 6.5. When I saw this, because they did that rare shot where they sent it down the back stretch, I'm like, that's not where I knew it right away. I go, that's 6. That's not where it's supposed to be. So there you have it. So, it just, what does it matter? It's just, if you got, like you said, if you got paid yesterday, that extra 16th of a mile might not have been the same result. And anybody who thinks it's going to be the same result, that's delusional to think that race was going to have exactly the same finish in a 16th of a mile more. I think you failed physics.
Well,
if you think that's going to be,
I think looking at the finish, you can make that argument, but the race is run differently if it's run properly.
maybe the jockeys thought it was a 9-furlong race that they were competing in.
Yeah, and I'm saying somebody who says, "Hey, I had that third place finisher, an extra 16th of a mile in a minute." I'm right there with you, but you don't know for certain. But I'm completely.
I like my physics grade.
I'm
very comfortable with velocity.
But as I say, if the gate was further back, it would have been a different scenario. So it's hard to say 100% certainty. But I'm with the folks that were kind of making.
Wonder if that ever happened at Great Barrington.
That's a good question. Or if somebody would have noticed.
I don't know. I throw my hands up. I mean, there's nothing. When they didn't rule it no contest, you just know there's nothing you can do. Just stop barking about it, etc.
That's just it. Like I say, we can wring our hands all we want. It is what it is. What has to be done now is something put in place to, as you say, protect the bettors and make sure it doesn't happen again.
I don't think they ever changed any of the protocols after the Al Muse thing. We still do it the same exact way.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't say.
I mean, get on the phone. Jockey tells you. We put it officially. Don't board. We're gonna rename the sword dancer. I saw that.
That was nice.
Brilliant ride. One thing I thought in the final running as the sword dancer yesterday was, I think the Godolphin runners put up the greatest entirety race as teammates. Nation's Pride gave perfect cover for the winner, who had room and covered up. It's got to be a dream trip for a European. Now, here's one you probably won't read in the paper today. No horse has won the sword dancer and has few starts. 10. As Las Cordobas. The last horse to do it for 10 was DePaula used to get this with a trivia question. The first 2 sword dancers were 6-furlong sprints.
Oh, wow.
And the second one was Arabian Law, who won it in his 10th start. But nobody had done the 12-furlong sword dancer in 10 races or fewer until yesterday. A masterful race. I will say this, Seth, as they were going around, I felt very confident that I was winning. I'm getting the cover up. I was never worried about Farbridge, even money. Yeah, I'm covered up and I'm in space. I have room and I'm covered up. I'm like, if you can't win from here, you're not winning.
Yeah. As you say, good ride. And the
3 on the line, right?
Yeah. The other.
And I had the middle horse, which is sometimes not the position you want.
Yeah.
But
I would say seldom the position you want. And Farbridge was just kind of a no-show in there. That was a little bit disappointing, certainly. And then Laurelyn looked pretty good in the Oaks to stay undefeated. I didn't see a number, but I'm assuming she stepped forward on the number.
5 for 5 now.
5 for 5. The question mark was the distance yesterday. She solved that. I think Graham Motion said, that distance won't be a question mark, and I think he's aiming for the QE2 down at Keeneland. But he said maybe something in between.
A race that I don't like because it's usually where the 3-year-old fillies avoid the Breeders' Cup. They go to the QE2 as the year-end Super Bowl for them, not wanting to take on their elders. I think Graham wanted.
And it is late in the season. That would be my argument. That late in the season, I don't like to see the age-restricted races just to begin with.
I'm with you 100%. I think Graham Motion won the yellow ribbon.
Oh, I didn't see. I saw something about the yellow ribbon, but I didn't realize it was Graham. Okay. Yeah, well, that was a nice day. Yeah, nice day.
And it's just eye-opening to see Mr. McGahee win a Grade 1 race, not with the cherry black cap, black cherry cap. Fort Washington winning the Arlington Million, which I don't know. It's going to be hard to be a Grade 1 anymore. It's just the old Gray Mare ain't what she used to be.
Yeah.
So as I said, it needs to be around $3.5 million. So it was like domestic turf day yesterday. Del Mar, Colonial, and Saratoga. Very nice. And they all got, you expect Del Mar to get great weather. They all got great weather.
You're right. Yeah. Because, again, it was gorgeous up here and continues. So today, speaking of which.
Just one final thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know nobody cares, But the rails were up at Del Mar. I just can't emphasize how I despise the idea of rails being up for high-level turf stakes races. Listed stakes races, grade 3 maybe, but grade 1s, and there's, as I said, Seth, I haven't come across anybody that trusts the teletimer with the rails up that follows the game day in and day out. And if we think time or distance is important, and I always say this is a nation that got, 12 people to the moon and back. We can solve this. We just don't want to. And that's why I don't trust the teletimer. And you get to the Breeders' Cup and you're like, well, I don't know. I don't trust the time. I might not trust the distance anymore.
Pull up the replay and get your stopwatch out, and then you've got the advantage.
I'm really not so sure that's the way it's supposed to be.
But I'm saying you can take advantage of the fact that
I also don't trust the distance. I'm like the geometry majors. If you can't time it, how do I know I got the distance? It's just guessing. And if you drop the rails, like why would you have the rails dropped when you don't have a grade 1 race? You just drop the rails and we have fewer questions, or I think I don't think that's asking too much. That's my thing. It's like, it's like asking the waiter, can you bring some extra sauce? Yeah. Yeah, of course. What's the big deal? And you never get like a straight answer. Like, Glenn, like what? Rails should always be down for grade 1 races. That's it. Those are the rules. New rules. What's that, Bill Maher? You ever watch him? New rules.
Oh, yeah.
Grade 1 and grade 2 races, no rails.
I'll
help walk out there and take them down for them if it's that big of a labor issue or something. I'll go help them.
Help! I was going to say by yourself. I think it's a day-long project to take the rails down all the way around. But help is coming up today. Pick 3 bankroll. Bankroll team's been selected.
How do you feel?
I feel pretty good because,
right.
a lot of days, the dark horse, I'm kind of like searching around for a price. Today, I have a bunch of prices in the mix.
Whoa, Nelly!
I think the pick 3 maybe will be fun. So we'll see. But again, I wait for the scratches to come out with the plays and whatnot. But we'll post those plays later on social media, on the website. So good luck to the team there. Also, at the Clubhouse Racebook today, $100 knockout challenge. Go on down to the Racebook and have a little extra fun with the knockout challenge this afternoon.
I don't want to slow you down or review. How does that work? What's the knockout challenge on everybody? Your last man standing type
I think
thing?
it is the last man standing. I'm trying to think. There's a number of contests
That'd be very cool.
I think it is.
Yeah. Now, here's a question I have on the other thing is I'm going to guess then the stewards, they talked about the Zulu Kingdom race. I got to presume that the next episode is going to be that, right? Because the stewards are involved, right?
Yeah,
in the wrong setting.
I mean, there's no. It's on that.
There's no ruling.
Yeah. So I would think something's got to come out today on that. I mean, obviously, clearly, in today's day and age, social media last night blew up, and understandably. So. But so I think there's going to have to be something addressed.
I like to at this point invoke, and I wish we had it at Capitol. In radio they had those drops, and you just hit the button. When there was fog at Monmouth Park one time, and the great Bob Weems said, "Ladies and gentlemen, you're on your own." And you're on your own, folks. You're going to have to go at it. It is time for the DePaula play.
But before we do that, I just wanted to give the rundown coming up at the top of the hour. Callie Francois will be in because Steve Bick, as substitute hosting for Steve Bick, he was down at the Arlington Million on yesterday, on Saturday. So Callie will be in with me. We'll be joined by Tracy Egan, Executive Director of the New York Thoroughbred Breeding and Development Fund. We'll talk a little bit about the fund, which provides monies to the New York breeders that really have made the program what it is over the past, 10, 20 years. But I wanted to do that this morning because this evening kicks off the New York bred sale over at Facing Tipton. Don't forget, you can go over 7 o'clock tonight, noon tomorrow. Again, it's 2 days, 7 o'clock tonight, noon tomorrow on the off day. And it's always fun. 3 blocks down from the track, down East Avenue, Facing Tipton Pavilion. But we'll talk a little bit about
I'm intrigued to see the stallions. Like who they have in the
typically
book.
They're pretty good these days.
A long way. What's that old Virginia Slims thing? You've come a long way, baby.
Also joining us a little later this morning, Travis Stone, the announcer down at Churchill Downs, but also a very good handicapper. We're going to have Travis in to handicap
and
some
Knicks
of the action
fan
this afternoon. There you go. handicap some of the action. And I had a note as well. I don't know where I wrote it down now, but there's a pick 5 carryover at Prairie Meadows today. And it's a mandatory with a carryover of, I think, $250,000. Prairie Meadows today, mandatory pick 5, big carryover.
Which
just wanted to
Prairie Meadows now on my radar, where they bet about $10,000 to $12,000 a race on the Pari-Mutuals. I will be looking to see how much they bet into that.
I got the note. It's race 7 to 11 today. The carryover is just a smidge under $250,000.
Wow.
Mandatory pick 5 at Prairie Meadows.
Good luck with that. That's and the New York Breeders' Fund. That's from the takeout, right? That's always funded that, right?
Yeah, I think
there's
a couple of different things they picked.
There's a fractional thing that has funded the New York Breeders. Have been the.
But again, like we had Roddy Valenti in the other day, and with Bustin' Stones.
Still getting checks?
Yeah, I mean he doesn't even own the horse, but it's by Bustin' Stone, so he sits back and roots for another owner, and then he just picks up a check through the Breeders' Fund. So
he walking out to the mailbox.
Yeah, no, it says like clipping coupons. It's
the DePaula play of the day.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hey, everybody. Steve Bick back with you to close out the week for the DePaula Play of the Day here on Capital OTB, coming to you from Richmond, Virginia, after a fabulous day at Colonial and the Million Card. Congratulations to Shug and Fort Washington on winning the Million. We're going to go to the 8th race for Sunday, and this is a second-level allowance. State Bred's long on the grass. You know how I feel. The best values are right here in these spots. And number 3, American Grant, 10-1 for Bruce Brown with the hot riding Ricardo Santana Jr. This horse is the best late runner in a field with plenty of pace. And for that reason, American Grant is really attractive in this spot. The 3, 10-1, American Grant. Let's close out the week and get lucky. Talk to you on Wednesday.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The opener on a 10-race card on a beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Sunday morning. Maiden special weights going the mile on the dirt, maybe.
And I'm going to start out yesterday's ride back. A friend of yours, the Australian, Jim Fahey, said you guys had a mutual friend who had passed away, and I've forgotten his name now.
Yes. Correct.
But Jim, he said, need a ride, mate? I said, I do. This the down under golf cart? He said, it is. And so I said, yeah, I know Anthony. And,
yes, he does. And
so,
our mutual friend passed away just before the meet.
Oh, okay. So it was recent.
And one of my, he had a great line. I knew he wasn't coming, but I gave him an invitation to the wedding, and he had a standing thing. He goes, if you excuse me, from the wedding, you get twice the value of a gift. He didn't want to go, but he loved it. He's a great guy. One of my easily 5 favorite human beings I ever had the pleasure. But that's good. So did he notice you or just doing the friendly thing, or did he say Seth is walking over? Does he know you?
No.
Oh, so he just was
I was
friendly.
walking back, but I was almost the whole ride, and he and his wife were in the cart and
Wonderful.
said, "You want to ride?" knew who I was
Yeah.
from TV and working with you, because
Yes.
immediately said, "Oh, I'm friendly with Anthony," and
Yep.
we had the mutual friend. Opener tip. So I wanted to tip my cap as
Thank you.
normal with the rides. Always appreciate them. And he mentioned, I see you talk about the rides. I'm assuming you want one. I'm like, yes.
That's what. See, the blacklist is becoming a thing, and they're all starting to know better that it's like the old adage.
Somebody turned it around yesterday.
Yes, see, it's working. It's the old adage, like you don't like sports figures, who I mostly follow. You don't get in a fight with a sports reporter. People that buy ink by the barrel. It's like we're not quite that being on television, but you don't want to be in that boat with people who are on TV every day.
I do appreciate
That's great.
it.
The turnaround's the best. Do you want to say who it was?
No.
Okay.
I will subtly give a hats off to that person later on. Now that I've said that. Opener today, the one entry 3, 2, and 7. Peak Performer and Worthy Charge. Shug McGahee and Chad Brown, different trainers but common ownership. I could kind of go with either one, but on the numbers, Worthy Charge obviously is the one. But at the mile trip, I don't know. I went back and forth about not using the one entry because, again, I do prefer Worthy Charge amongst the two. But the post position is going to be an absolute obstacle. This one did have a lone sibling to race, Princess Madison, second in the debut, then sixth, and a couple of wins. So there was some win early. This one ran okay in the debut. Nice number that I think absolutely fits with this bunch, but that post position is a knock. I probably should have used Chillax a little more. Again, given the post position.
I certainly agree.
And the numbers this one through, I think it's Brian Eddowes' play of the day. I don't know. I didn't pull a trigger there. That's one that it's every once in a while you get in and you look at the day later, a couple days after you handicap, and like, I probably whiffed there. So Chillax should be in the mix. But instead I went Fun to Tap in the second spot. Lately raced, improved start 1 to start 2. Had some win early siblings that I think bode well. And Limo, being a first-time starter that cost $1 million in the Bill Mott barn, was a little bit interesting as well. But as I say, I may have whiffed on Chillax. One entry, 3, 2, and 7.
Seth said like the day after, sometimes 4 minutes after, I'm like, what the heck? Now here, I like Chillax. I'm 4-7-2, but I have an issue. Seth, I think you put yourself in a tough spot here because if Worthy Charge scratch, Peak Performer would be like 12-1, and this is one of the ones. It happened. This is about as great a disparity.
Yeah.
You're getting no help, in my opinion, handicapping this race before it. Worthy Charge is getting no help from Peak Performer in this race, in my opinion. And I'm just going by, I don't like him as I own handicap, but as you've taught me that with the buyer speed figures and David setting the morning line, I mean, if by some miracle you like Peak Performer, and I'm all for it. Listen, I told you, no public handicapper picks more horses run last than me. But if you like Peak Performer in this race, you're getting whatever's beyond all the worst of it is all the worst of it. I mean,
and again, I've said it before. On the top, I'll usually parse them out if I don't believe.
This would have been the ultimate 1A. I don't want the 1.
I was kind of thinking there was still some upside, and if Shug
okay.
elected,
yeah. I mean, listen,
but with different trainers, there's more likelihood that they both go.
Yeah. So 4-7-2 for me. I think this is just a case, and I have to believe that Andy Shirley on Talking Horses, who is the biggest advocate of uncoupling, is he's. I was thinking about, because I've gone with 1E. I went with 1E yesterday a couple times. These two are probably the greatest spread. Linda's had a couple of couplings where the second one was a little bit below it, but this is the greatest disparity I've seen.
Second race this afternoon, conditional claimers, 9 furlongs is the trip.
Yes, 4-6-2. And I've said it before. I love the number of 9 furlong dirt races that we have conducted. And, Rudy, what was it? Was it 3 years ago that Rudy had the really tough meet, and it was either 2 or 3, because then he had a bounce back that was, okay, and now he's in a rut again. But I'm gonna get a price on the 4 in for the tag of 30,000. 3 races back. That's the race I need at Aqueduct, going 9 furlongs. I got muddy and sloppy sealed racetracks in the last 2. I think if you watch this program regularly, I compartmentalize. Left Me Behind, boy, it's a long reach back to last Saratoga, going 9 furlongs for this Barkley tag runner. And then Mr. Ripple. I looked at Mr. Ripple, and it's hard to believe we're here off of his Florida Derby. I mean, 4.62. Oh, quick thing. What do you think of Mystic Dan?
Well, it's an experiment.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to try it again.
Yeah.
Go back to the dirt.
1, 5, 7, and 2. Legree on top for me. The last few races weren't a lot, but gets a class drop that I think is going to be okay. And then you toss in the bullet work in prep for this. I think it all adds up to say Legree will be live. I jump in tepidly, though, because the drop is also a concern. Second spot is first of his name. This one's interesting to me. I read Ortiz on board, and, you cross out the last race, and you look at this one as having the potential to steal it on the front end. And so if they come out of the gate and I read pops to the lead and they get, coming out of that turn onto the backstretch and kind of an easy lead, first of his name may be tough to reel in and at a little bit of a price. And then Who's the King? Jose Ortiz on board, also with a little bit of speed. And because these two both had some speed, I didn't go with one or the other. I thought maybe they would hook each other up. We'll see if that happens. But this one's also coming off a claim that was a nice race here at Saratoga, but moves up off of that. But again, has some early speed in the second. 1, 5, 7, and 2.
On to the third race. We'll be dashing 5.5 entry-level allowance.
4, 5, 6, and 7. I thought the 2 was a little bit playable as well, but I want Tap to Mischief on top. Belmont trainee. Couple of starts so far. Debut victory on the turf over a year ago. Then came back the Belmont meet up here at Saratoga in an off-the-turfer. Still ran okay. Paired up the numbers. The numbers matching up with this bunch are pretty good, but you would think being lately raced has some upside potential as well. I'll go with Tap to Mischief. Second spot, Warlow comes off a couple of turf races downstate and a couple of wins. And improving numbers the past 2, including a number last time that was very good. I debated putting this horse on top because those last 2, I think, make this one the one to beat. But I just thought, the Tap to Mischief, the Mott horse, may have a little upside potential that will be interesting. So I went slightly 4 over the 5 with the 6. Excuse me, Irish Gent in the third spot. Todd Pletcher trainee comes back Lasix, first time gelding symbol after having not been seen since November of. Is that like a
car alarm?
Car
fake car alarm.
Since November of 2023. So long layup, but the horse had shown some flashes, obviously. And again, this is the kind that can come back improved, although off a long layoff like that, I'm a little less enthusiastic, but I have it 4, 5, 6, and 7.
I have 6 of the 7 live in here, folks. I think, for me, Marcus Gift would, a little push. I have everybody live. So I took the second longest shot on the morning line. After taxes, I'm on the outside. I'm going to be able to attack with good early speed. It hasn't run since May. I would think we're fresh. So I think Junior Alvarado, right? He was on Fort Washington, right? Down at Colonial. So that role just continues for Junior. And then Tap to Mischief, as Seth mentioned, debuts, goes to the sideline for 11 months. That doesn't matter to me anymore. And then Irish Gent, been off since November of 23. It doesn't matter. Does list as gelding Lasix for Todd Pletcher, who it shocks me to be able to say this, and I believe it's accurate, that Todd Pletcher is having an under-the-radar terrific meet.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, we'll head to a break. When we come back, more of the Sunday card here at Saratoga. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Stop.
Race number 4 this afternoon at Saratoga. As we kick back into the Handicappers Report, we are looking at 2-year-old maiden specials, 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
7-3-2 for me. I've spoken earlier about the multiple 2-year-old filly winners on the turf that not this time. Well, this is a colt who's had a race in the slop. I just kind of put him aside, but we had some giddy up early. Okay, we got that out of the way. We're going to root. We got Jose Ortiz and Tom Amos in here. Time to strike. For second, here's Johnny. Hard to believe he's off the air, 33 years. Ray Handel's runner makes his second career start. Was bet down to 4-1 on debut. That's live for me. And for third, debuting Chad Brown's runner, Boss Henry, an offspring of Gun Runner, 7-3-2.
4, 5, 8, and 6 for me. I'm going to put Epic Desire on top. This is a sibling to the nice Baffert runner, Adair Manor. And Adair Manor, second in debut, ran fourth in the second start, and then had two wins.
He won the best pal again yesterday.
And then won a stake in the fourth start of the career. Obviously hasn't quite lived up to that in the first 2 starts on the 45 buyer last time. And our improved effort is not jumping off the page, but looking at of those with experience in here, what they've fired. It's not. So with a little bit of breeding and potentially a price for Pletcher and Velasquez, I'll jump on board the 4 Epic Desire. Final score in the second spot, paid a lot of money. Mike Rapoli, Todd Pletcher, sibling called Dixie Fury that was 7th in debut, then ran 3rd, then a couple of wins. So win early. This one came up with a nice second and off the turf for last time sprinting. Could be interesting stretching out on the turf. Same scenario with Epic Desire. So far has only been on the dirt sprinting, so now they both stretch out on the turf. I think the 2 Pletchers are very intriguing. Spherical in the 3rd spot. It's Barkley Tag runner. Sibling called Madam Mischief, second in debut, won the second start. City of Light on top. I thought this one was interesting. A couple of the works are okay. A little bit of a price with Ricardo Santana, who's riding well. Thought could be a player. I have it 4, 5, 8, and 6.
Did Bob Baffert sign any of the big sales tickets?
That I don't know. He was there.
I didn't see his name on Twitter as they were flowing all the big ones. I didn't see him as
was
a
there.
sign on a big one.
Everybody was there. Man, if you were
so,
over there, you saw
once
the
Keeneland
big
dropped
names
that select July sale, the September Keeneland one on numbers is, but for Primo, it's the 5th race on the card, 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weights going 6.5.
6, 4, 3, and 5. I'm going to put lovely Christina on top. Why? If you listen enough, I love the Vacomas first time out. So the sire attracted my attention, obviously. Grabbed a nice price at the OBS auction. The Dam won her career debut and 7 of her first 10. This horse has 3 racing siblings. One of them third, and then one in the 3rd start. Another one was second in the lone start in the career. So I thought they both showed some potential early. This sibling, 2 of the 3 siblings. And again, with Vacoma on top, I'm automatically attracted. A lovely Christina in the top space. Memorized in the 2nd spot. This one, Dam was unraced, but went on to produce Zandon. Nice runner for Chad Brown. Going out for Chad Brown and John Stewart in his Resolute Racing. And John Stewart, not shy about spending money, $900,000 for this one. Another sibling called Midway Memories, 2nd in debut, won the 2nd start of the career. So Memorized is obviously going to be a player. Carmel Coast in the 3rd spot by Omaha Beach. Again, a little bit of breeding, but a couple of nice workouts also intrigue me. In the 5th, 6, 4, 3, and 5.
And I'm probably late to the party with Danny Gargan. I'll tell you one thing. One part you can, because David Aragona is so good, it's like, so you have Chad Brown, Steve Asmussen, and Todd Pletcher in a baby race. And So Vain is 5-2 for Danny Gargan. I will just assume word is out, folks, ladies and gentlemen.
Workouts are gonna.
Yeah, I mean they're solid, and so I am the Carly Simon truncated So Vain. Carmel Coast is my next pick. Omaha Beach Runner on debut, who I am just as attracted with the workouts. And if there's a lot of disparity between my top 2 picks at the odds board, and then I agree with Seth, I have lovely Christina, 836.
And yeah, the So Vain, I left that one out because there's a lone sibling and it wasn't much, but you're right. Given the price and the workouts, maybe the whisper is out there. 6th race this afternoon, State Bred Maiden Claimers going a mile and 16 on the turf.
I probably should subscribe to it. It's not that much. Is the clock report, because I'm guessing that the works that we see in 2-dimensional we can read, but Mike has probably made, for David to make Danny Gargan 5-2 on the board, that there is some good stuff behind that. I am 9-5-12 in here, and make your moment. I think Seth's going to have some interesting pick 3 tickets, he says, with the horses he likes today. I agree with him, but I'm more apt to like medium price horses, etc. Ray Handel sends out this runner. You have Dubawi and Grand Slam as grandsires. Grand Slam was a very good dirt runner, but I liked his turf pedigree influence for second. Archer's Assault, first time in for the tag, second start since April. A nice warm-up for this spot, I think. Spirit of the Law would have had a higher rating for me. It's 5-2, but he's parked outside. 9-5-12, excuse me. I apologize if it's 9-5-12. I see my handwriting, and I hope I'm sure it's my mistake with the 4, because this dopey handwriting, it looks like it might be a 4, but it's the 9, my top pick.
All right.
You don't even have the 12 in the mix.
I have the 12, just missed the mix.
Just outside.
3, 9, 4, 6, and then the 12 was right there. But I put Ragazzo d'Oro on top. I think the Bruce Brown runner is interesting in here at a 10-1 price. I think it's evenly matched number-wise with this bunch, and comes in.
And you're inside.
Yeah, if a couple of starts that, down in New York that were okay. They were a little while ago, April and May, but, this isn't a notable layoff in this day and age.
No.
I think this horse comes in. Again, that race 2 back, I think, mixes it up really nicely with this group. So I tilted in that direction. Make your moment. For Ray Handel, probably has the edge on the numbers over the past couple of starts, has a little more recency than my top pick, but the edge is not huge. And again, as you say, I have maybe a little bit of a better post to work from. Powered by Cole in the 3rd spot. Irad Ortiz and Mark Hennig tried to steal it on the front end last time and just came up a little bit short. Tries that again today at a shorter distance. It may be a little more successful in the 6th. 3, 9, 4, and 6.
I'm glad that the form moved their line, and it wouldn't be a smooth conversation for you on Racing Across America when you have a trainer, because there's nuances to it. But I'd like to get 10 or 15 of them and go, what now constitutes in your mind a layoff for a horse? Because I think you're right. I think May 15th to August 10th, years ago, we would have thought they were on the shelf.
Yeah.
But I just think in today's game, they're like, no, Anthony, I never thought they were laid off. I was never in that mode, whether the right races didn't come up or they got rained off in turf horses or whatever. But I'd like to get like 10 to 15 of them and say, because I don't even think 90 days is an answer. It might be like 150 where they're really like, yes, like we said from time to time, you claim a horse in January, you come back, last month. That wasn't your plan.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big number. It's a lot bigger number than we grew up. I think it's north of 120.
You make
120 might be the right answer. 4 months.
You make a great point. I think if you claim a horse, even 120 starts to look long.
Oh yeah, no, that the claiming is
the circumstances
different
make
angle.
it
That's why
make you read it a little bit
that's
differently.
why it wouldn't make for a good show, because it's nuanced. We'll be right back with the late pick 4.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Claimers 3L going 6.5, race 7.
8-2, 3 and 9, 5-2 on top. Linda Rice trainee, third start of the season. Both have been at this level, so I think we're in a good spot here to kind of be primed to move forward again in the third start back. I also like the fact that we're cutting back. I think it all adds up to, as I say, a nice try this afternoon. Have both halves of the 2-entry Rodeo Star and Harlan's Bond. Rodeo Star is probably preferred because it's that class move I like quite a bit. State Bird Allowance into an open claimer, open conditional claimer, as I would say, even better. But the last time this horse 3 back was in one of these types of races, ran a very close up third. So I think the return to this level is beneficial to Rodeo Star. And then in the third spot, I went with number 3, My Two Sophias. Irad Ortiz on board for Greg Sacco. Tried this company last time and just missed. That was with the apprentice on board, Chris Elliott, who rides well, but come on, this meet Irad Ortiz
on the injury?
is just.
I didn't see that. That's rare in today's day and age. Usually the agent puts out an update within 36 hours.
I might have seen some, but I don't want to say if
I was looking for it.
But bullet workout as well for this one. So My Two Sophias live 8-2 entry 3 and 9.
Is this going to be a race involving your pick threes? Because I get
I got to wait for the scratches to see.
Because I like Rodeo Star. Now these two, as a coupling, they mesh. You know, you're getting some help from Harlan's Bond to me, but I want Rodeo Star going back to that June race. That was the 2L at this price tag, going the 1-turn mile. For a second from the rail is number 3, adding blinkers, My Two Sophias. Greg Sacco's runner just got beat as the favorite. And for third, Sanagata. Big effort back in April. Not so much since then, but I'm going to throw out the slop effort. So 2-7-3 for me.
8th race this afternoon. State Bird optional claimers now wears a 2 other than 9 furlongs on the turf.
On the inner turf, I almost always let me say, folks, we're up to a 40-day meet, and it's probably only 3 or 4. We had one rained off, and I highlighted because I like it. You get time for position into the first turn. 7-5-8 for me, and Rabaja for Jimmy Bond, who actually, this is the lowest frequency. Sunday must be a half a day type thing because
I've seen him once.
Yes, and
although there was a huge contingent of horses, I've seen the cart once.
When I was early this morning, and he was right on time with the first group at 8 a.m.
I wonder though, it's turf work day, which happens across the street at 10 a.m. So they may be kind of lining up for that.
I should look this up. How many horses I picked making the seasonal debut? Just remarkable for this offspring of Summer Front with Irad aboard for the first time. Coinage for second. Steve Asmus has run. I've been down this road before with this horse. Gets on the turf for the first time in a long time, but has run well at a distance of ground, albeit that was at Colonial, and then for third, Conman. So 7-5-8.
Eighth race is my dark horse play of the day, and apologies, my computer was all just crawling when I was trying to put the slate together. So
he dropped it right after he dropped the pages the day before and got
it's working like I did drop it, so I got to work on it tomorrow on the day off. So I didn't get the slate, but I will alert you. And I'll put a slate up. I will get a slate out. I'll put it up on Twitter, and the guys can show that later in the day on the network. But this is my dark horse play of the day.
I have to stop you. We've been doing this. I've never seen 4 cars looking for the same spot ever. We've been here since the 90s, and we just unbelievable. I'm sorry to interrupt the dark horse play of the day. But
eighth race today, the dark horse is my top pick. I have a 3, 7, 2, and 8. I put 3 on top. American Grant 10-1. It's Bruce Brown. So let's look for Bruce to have a nice day. I thought this horse had some.
He's a huge Washington Commanders fan.
I think there are some other horses in here who look good, but maybe don't have recency. You know, recent races aren't quite as much to hang your hat on.
2/3 of mine are.
Yeah, this one, though, has some recency. 2 starts so far this season. Seasonal debut was very good in a conditional claimer. Moved into this condition, essentially, kind of non-winners of 1, state bred, and broke through it to get to this non-winners of 2. But again, a saltier group last time and did it. So 2 nice performances, 2 improving performances. Third start back, maybe primed for more. Santana, who's been coming in with some prices, has been interesting. So I think this one is very live at a very nice price. So our dark horse play of the day brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both in downtown Saratoga. Dark horse play of the day today, race number 8, horse number 3, American Grant. Second spot, Rabaha, the Jim Bond runner who hasn't been seen since October. But what we saw last year, I think, fits with this bunch. So if this horse comes back ready to roll, I do think is a player. And you get Irod Ortiz on board. And then number 2, Mo Trump, also at a big price. Finger Lakes-based runner for Anthony Ferraro. Came to Saratoga last time and at 24-1 rang the bell on the turf, and allowance non-winners of 1 other than on the front end. I think this horse can be a player again today, given what we saw last time. So in the 8th race, 3, 7, 2, and 8.
Quick note, because this is a rarity when I'm on a set that we're good on time. This is an example, well, my wife would say, of your memory. I do not know Bruce Brown personally, but if he's watching the show, he's if he's watching the show, he's going, how would that guy, who I've never met, know I'm a Washington, in his day, Redskins, now Commanders fan, and a big one. He was on our network 20 years ago or something, and I was watching.
Oh, there you go.
He'd be like, who would
know
this? He doesn't even know me. He knows
saw him over at the jockey game the other night.
Is he a participant or is he on the side?
No, he was just
watching.
Fan. Yeah. Fan.
All right. We'll be right back with a late daily double.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here. at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race number 9, scheduled to take off at 5:50, dashing 5.5 with the Mahoney, right?
The Mahoney. Grade 3 event, and I think I looked it up. I think this is the first year it's been graded. I think it's only been run about 6 times. So
didn't
limited
have an effect last year's result on the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint?
Oh, well, that probably helped.
I think something like that.
And it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case this year. 9, 5, 6, and 4. Governor Sam has just been phenomenal in his career with 5 wins and 9 starts, including a nice win last time in the quick call as the favorite. Lived up to it. So I'm going to stick with him in here. Same trip, same track. I'll put him on top. Ortley Avenue. Rooting for this one. It's our friends at Bonaventure Stable. I saw Dan Collins yesterday, said good luck, and I know they're looking forward to the showdown again, because in only the 3rd start of the career, ran a really good, really gutsy second to Governor Sam in that quick call. So, again, we're rooting for our friends at Bonaventure, and I think legitimately so. So far in the career, maiden breaker in the career start down at Gulfstream. They went right from that into a sprint stakes race on the turf to run second, and then second last time behind Governor Sam here. So Ortley Avenue, they have a nice one there for the Bonaventure partners. And then in the 3rd slot, we'll go with No Evidence, Miguel Clement runner that was 3rd in the quick call. So I'm kind of leaning on those horses to come back and run well, but there are others in here. Saturday Flirt from Wesley, turf sprinter for Wesley Ward. Interesting. Jose D'Angelo has gabbled on, who they were ambitious enough to try Royal Ascot last year. So it's a fun race. I'm 9, 5, 6, and 4.
It's funny because Spiced Up is on numbers the one horse that it's not even on my list, but is a heavy contender. The race goes through Governor Sam. If everything is on the square here, he's winning. He's got a good post from the outside, his running style. He's already displayed that he's clear of these runners. It hasn't been happen chance that he's done. But I took Ortley Avenue. My runner has to run the race of the best performance of the career. Now, it's only a 3-race career going in, so that's plausible. But Governor Sam has to meet with at least one hiccup in the race. And that's just my opinion. You mentioned Saturday Flirt, who I like for Wesley Ward. Another one. He has to run the race of his life. Spiced Up is the same thing. This is one of those examples where I am reaching. Something has to go wrong for Governor Sam. It doesn't have to be god-awful wrong, but he has to have, as I said earlier, a hiccup. Because even if these others improve, they have to dramatically improve. It might be too much to ask if Governor Sam runs his B-plus race. Something has to happen. It goes through Governor Sam, which is why he's even money in a race.
Yeah, we didn't mention trained by George Weaver, who, again, having
just
a really good meet.
Rolling.
10th and final today, scheduled to go off about 20 after 6. It is a allowance non-winners of one other than, again, 9 furlongs, the trip.
326. I think on the show you mentioned Pandagate a couple days ago. Interceptor is my top pick for Chad Brown, taking on winners for the first time. Now, this is the move. I mean, there's 2 L's out there that used to not be, but this is a big move. But that mile race was gigantic. Any improvement from this barn is going to be good enough to be in contention. Added Chad Brown 8-1. Classicist for Todd Pletcher. A big performance going 9 furlongs to break the maiden. And then Pandagate, hard to believe at Saratoga, we're saying, as often as I'm saying, it's seasonal debut, 326.
I'm 1, 2, 6, and 11. I thought your 3 was good. Again, I have the 3 just missing the mix. But Tuscan Gold for Chad started the career with such promise, and then laid off from the Preakness last year until June this year.
Just to point out, he was my Preakness pick.
And then lost as the favorite in the comeback. I have to believe he's better than that and will benefit from the seasonal debut and move forward because, again, he's a Chad Brown trainee that with some local connections. And started out with such promise. I'll land there and give him one more shot. Class assist for Todd Pletcher off of that seasonal debut that was very, very good, but it was a maiden breaker, and this is kind of a salty bunch, but I do think is legit off the number fired. Again, at this trip right up here at Saratoga with Irod on board, who sticks today. And then in the third spot, the aforementioned Panda Gate. I had Rich Cristiano from Adelphi on the other day, and we were talking about Panda Gate. Looking forward to it. Part of the partnership group is the On the Rise folks who are based or from Amsterdam, so I know that group pretty well. And always rooting for Panda Gate. And this is a New York bred, and we're going to talk New York breds a little bit later on. Tracy Egan is in the house from the breeding fund, but
two blinks of an eye.
This is a New York bred who ran third in the UAE Derby behind Forever Young last year, and then came up here to Saratoga and won the Albany. So I'm looking forward to the seasonal debut for Panda Gate. But in the 10th, I have it 1, 2, 6, and 11.
All right, that wraps up, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, I know it's been Groundhog Day, but it is a beautiful day. You don't have to come for the whole card to come up. It's just great. The meet is moving on. We have, I think there's counting today, 17 racing days left. So come on up and enjoy. He stays, I go. Have a wonderful Sunday.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.